Fields at the top of the stretch, picking up speed. Here they come. They're off and pacing in the first at Maywood Park. Holly Hill Fiesta going right out for the lead, far outside. Here comes Buggenhouse and Tony Morgan. Holly Hill Fiesta on the inside. Buggenhouse quickly up the challenge. A length and a half back to Holly Hill Answer. Racing in third, Mr. Benny's up on the rim in fourth. A length ahead of Holly Hill Colors. A length back to Just Like Lightning. Then a gap of 3 to Jim Curran and Smoky Rain. Your trailer to the quarter is Concrete Ribbon. Holly Hill Fiesta takes them by the quarter station, 29-2. Holly Hill Fiesta setting a comfortable pace for Holiday. Buggenhouse right on his back, then a gap of 2 to Mr. Benny's. On the outside, here comes Holly Hill Colors. Just Like Lightning will follow up that live cover. On the inside, Holly Hill Answer is gapping his cover. Third over to the half, Smoky Rain Concrete Ribbon is on the move. Second tier takes formation. Holly Hill Fiesta, the favorite, leads the way by the half, a comfortable minute. Holly Hill Fiesta, still unchallenged, leads the way into the turn. Buggenhouse getting the trip. On the outside, Holly Hill Colors, grinding out a tough first over trip, Just Like Lightning. Poised in fourth for Jacobs. Mr. Benny saves ground along the rail. 2 lengths back to Smoky Rain Concrete Ribbon, bids 3 wide. Holly Hill Answer is far back. It's a bunching field. With a little more than a quarter of a mile to go, Holly Hill Fiesta still leads the way. 3 quarters, 131-1, 31-1. Third quarter, Holly Hill Fiesta now picks it up with 3/16 to go. Buggenhouse lurking in the pocket. On the inside, Mr. Benny's saves ground third. Holly Hill Colors dropping back. Just Like Lightning launches his bid. They're in the stretch. It's Holly Hill Fiesta, but here comes Buggenhouse. Buggenhouse attacks from the pocket and draws away for the easy victory in 2 minutes 2/5. Holly Hill Fiesta second. Mr. Benny's grabs the show spot. Top of the stretch, here they come. They're away and pacing. Be Home Early in the middle of the track, showing speed. Joined on the far outside by Fox Valley Classic. Down along the inside, it's Lit a Guy. They race around the turn. They head up the backstretch for the first time. Now Be Home Early, forging his way to the top, a length ahead of Lit a Guy, who will yield in second. A length back to Fox Valley Classic with good early position. Racing in third for Miller. Then a gap of 2 to Little Mage. And now from the pocket, Ken Holiday attacks with Lit a Guy. Lit a Guy, the new leader, by the quarter, 29 seconds. Lit a Guy shows the way, tight length, Be Home Early. Racing in the pocket, a length back to Fox Valley Classic in third. Up on the outside, here comes The Man I Love. To the inside of him, Little Mage. On the outside, following up live cover, here comes Darren Devil and Joe Marsh Jr. A race for the half, Lit a Guy in command of the fractions. On the outside, The Man I Love facing the breeze. Be Home Early is right there in the pocket. Half time to minute 4/5. Lit a Guy still in command. Be Home Early. Right in behind second, The Man I Love being rated by Morgan. Darren Devil will follow up that live cover for the final 3/8 of a mile. Fox Valley Classic saves ground along the inside. Up on the outside, here comes Holly Hill Hawk. To the inside of him, Little Mage, Ancient Irish. Still about 7 to make up with a quarter of a mile go, and now The Man I Love forging his way on by. Lit a Guy digs down. Holiday urging him on. The 2 favorites will duke it out in the final 3/16 of a mile. An eighth of a mile ago, they're on their way home. Lit a Guy fending off the pressure. The Man I Love under urging. Lit a Guy digs down. Morgan going to work on The Man I Love. It's Lit a Guy and The Man I Love. Be Home Early right in behind those two. Lit a Guy winning it. Be Home Early Splits horses to be second. The Man I Love will salvage the show spot. Fields off the turn, lining up. 8 pacers, here they come. They're off. Mucho Lito going right after the lead with Park Lane, and now Park Lane on the outside takes command. 3 parts of a length, now a length ahead of Mucho Lito, racing in second. A length back to First Adventure, racing in third. Another tight length, 2 out in the country, fourth. A length and a quarter back to Randy Jacobs. And Fox Valley Snake as the field races up the backstretch. They're all settling in. Race for the quarter. Mucho Lito with an early and aggressive move by Holiday. Now takes command of the fractions. Quarter timed in 29 seconds. It's Mucho Lito, the favorite. On top, a tight length. Park Lane will gladly take the trip. Now First Adventure. Flushed first over for Henninger. Fox Valley Snake will follow up that live cover. To the inside of him out in the country. Smashing hit, racing third over as the second tier takes formation. Then on the inside, it's Mr. Obvious. On the outside, but on the move, Lake Kills Doc, 4 in, 4 out. They pace by the half in 59-3. Mucho Lito leads the way around the turn. On the outside, First Adventure. A patient second. Park Lane is right there in the pocket. Fox Valley Snake is poised and ready to strike for Jacobs. Right in behind him, it's Tony Morgan and Lake Kills Doc. A little more than a quarter of a mile to go. Mucho Lito, the one to catch. He's on top a length, now a length and a half. First Adventure starting to drop back after a very tough trip. Park Lane looms as the main threat right in behind the leader. 3/4, 129-1. Midway around the turn, Mucho Lito looking to put away this group. It's Mucho Lito by 2. Park Lane has the best chance. Here comes Out in the Country with a late rally. They're in the stretch. Mucho Lito in total control. It's Mucho Lito deep in the lane. Well clear for Holiday. Mucho Lito in front in 157-2. Park Lane second, Out in the Country, grabbing the show honors. Field of 6 pacers curve off the turn. They take their positions in behind the starting gate. Here they come. They're off. On the inside, Feedback taking full advantage of the rail. Quickly out to a 1-length lead as they race around the turn. Keystone Throng came away well in second. A length back to Pickleman in third. Another length back to King's Run. Racing fourth, 2 back to the favorite. Smooth Talker about 5 off the lead as they race for the quarter. Your trailer is Power On. Now they settle in up the backstretch with Feedback on top by 2. Opening quarter timed in 28-4. Feedback is your leader by 2. Keystone Throng right there in the pocket. A length and a half back to Pickleman, racing third. Another length back to King's Run. Smooth Talker still about 6 to make up with another half mile to go. Power On waiting for his cover. Still single file. They race by the stands for the first time, and Feedback, feeling no pressure at all, races for the half with a length and a half advantage over Keystone Throng in 58-2. Feedback leads the way. Keystone Throng right there in behind. On the outside, here comes King's Run for Knox first over. Smooth Talker being rated this week will follow up that live cover. Still about 4 to make up. Pickleman saves ground along the inside. Power On still trails Feedback. On top by a length and a quarter, Keystone Throng lurking in the pocket. Here comes Smooth Talker, 3 wide, 3/4, 127 flat. It's Feedback around the turn. Keystone Throng attacks from the pocket for Bussy. Smooth Talker will have to pick it up a bit. Pickleman racing along the inside. Top of the stretch. Feedback, under-urging. Here comes the veteran, Keystone Throng. Keystone Throng deep in the lane. Now driving out. It's Keystone Throng pulling off the mild upset. Feedback a game second. Smooth Talker has to settle for show in 1:55-2. Top of the stretch, here they come. They're off and pacing from the outside. Ruffian Dancer and Janimal both left well, and on the inside it's Noteworthy Wolf, and one for the money going for the lead. Noteworthy Wolf taking advantage of the rail, leads 3 parts of a length. Ruffian on the outside, one for the money now, dropping in second, a length ahead of Painted Clown, racing third. Coming away with good early position from the 8-hole, Janimal racing in fourth. And now Janimal quickly underway, followed up by Dan Knox and Stacy's Orphan. Plenty of action up top, 29-1 of the opening quarter, and now taking command of the pace, Janimal for Morgan. It's Janimal now a length on the outside. Stacy's Orphan will apply early pressure. Noteworthy Wolf will get the trip in third. On the outside, Ruffian Dancer gapping cover but underway for Murph Chup. And now one for the money. Looks to get out along the rail. Sitting behind him, Painted Clown and Ken Holiday. Annie Rapp is on the move. Diddley trails. They race for the half. It's Janimal in command. 57-4. Janimal shows the way into the paddock turn. Leads by 2 over Noteworthy Wolf. Stacy's Orphan will have to do a little bit more. On the inside, one for the money. Saves ground and waiting for racing room. On the outside, Ruffian Dancer now bids 3 wide. Painted Clown saves ground and scoots through along the rail. Diddley and Annie Rapp. Little more than a quarter of a mile ago, Janimal leads by 2. Noteworthy Wolf trying to keep pace. 3/4, 1:26-4. Janimal leads the way. Noteworthy Wolf trying to come back on the outside. Here comes one for the money. Painted Clown now veers off the cones for Holiday. Diddley advances through the inside. Top of the stretch, Janimal looking to pull off the mild upset for Morgan. He leads in the stretch by a length. Here comes one for the money. Far outside with a late rally. Here comes Painted Clown on the inside. Here comes Noteworthy Wolf. Noteworthy Wolf closing through on the inside in 1:58, tight for second. A photo. Top of the stretch. Field of 8 picking up speed. Here they come. They're off. Far outside, both Sweet Baby Ray and Cool Mister looking for early position. In the middle of the track, it's Menace to Society. And on the inside, Anxiety Flew. From the outside, Sweet Baby Ray with a surprising move to take command of the pace. Leads by 2 over Anxiety Flew on the outside. Menace to Society looks to drop in, and now he finds a spot a length ahead of Dan Knox and Mighty Fine Magic. Up on the rim, here comes Cool Mister. They're racing for the half. Sweet Baby Ray leads, but here's Cool Mister and Carl Porcelli Jr. Opening panel 29-4. Now Cool Mister forging on by. Opens up by 2 on Sweet Baby Ray. The favorite, Anxiety Flew, racing about 3 lengths off the lead in third. Then a gap of 2 to Menace to Society. On the outside, moving up for Knox is Mighty Fine Magic. Also on the move, Shokin in the hole, pick up cover. Lipsy Brown is shuffled back and driving from Last Town Poet. A race for the half. Morgan sends Anxiety Flew after the lead and now gets it off the half. 59-1. Anxiety Flew on the outside. Cool Mister Not about to give it up just yet. Cool Mister is battling to come back. Sweet Baby Ray sits right in behind those two as they slug it out in the final 3/8 of a mile. Cool Mister has the rail. Anxiety Flu being rated by Morgan. Sweet Baby Ray is right there in the pocket. Shokin in the hose 3 wide. Going around Mighty Fine Magic. And now Anxiety Flu takes the lead by 3/4, 1:28.1. 3/16 to go. Anxiety Flu now drawing clear. Anxiety Flu by 2, now by 2.5. Sweet Baby Ray comes on. Cool Mister beginning to drop back in third, top of the lane. It's Anxiety Flu and Morgan. They're in the stretch. Anxiety Flu leads the way. A late rally by Sweet Baby Ray, but it won't be enough. Anxiety Flu wins this one handily in 1:58. Sweet Baby Ray, Cool Mister third. Here they come. They're away in pacing with Leffy and Conundrum going out for the lead far outside. Those two are joined by Kelly's Chance. 3 off the rail as they hit the first turn. Leffy on the inside. In between horses, it's Conundrum. The 2 New Zealand breds will duke it out early, and now Conundrum will win the early battle. He now draws clear a length over Leffy. Here comes Kelly's Chance. Holiday not waiting around. Kelly's Chance is on the move as they race for the quarter. Conundrum leads. Leffy racing in second. Now Kelly's Chance will take back and try to tuck back in third after an opening quarter of 28.1. Conundrum, your leader, a tight length over Leffy. Kelly's Chance racing in third. On the inside, Fated Glory. Now flushing cover, Cassandra's Gold. He's first, second over. On the outside, Spartan Martin. Regal Stance along the inside is shuffled back to the end. 4 on the inside, 3 on the outside. We have 2 tiers. A battle by the half in 58.2. Conundrum, your leader, 3 parts of a length. On the outside, moving up and challenging once again is Kelly's Chance. He'll bring up Cassandra's Gold. On the inside, Leffy enjoying a perfect trip. Fated Glory also saves ground. On the outside, moving up, third over, with cover, Spartan Martin, Regal Stance. Now off the cones for Morgan, about 5 lengths off the lead with a quarter of a mile to go. On top, on the inside, it's Conundrum. On the outside, Kelly's Chance, 3/4, 1:27.4. Conundrum hangs tough on the inside. On the outside, Kelly's Chance. He also hangs tough, going a big effort. On the inside, looking for racing room, is Leffy. They turn for home. Conundrum leads. Kelly's Chance going a big heat. Here comes Regal Stance on the far outside. On the inside, it's Leffy. Kelly's Chance going a big mile to win it. Leffy gets up for second, close for third in 1:56.
Shifting from Maywood on the half mile over to Balmoral. Last time she raced here, monster effort.
Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're away in pacing on the inside. Leaving well is Quaker Shaker along with Lake Hills Mimi. Those two will battle for the top spot as they wheel around the first turn. Quaker Shaker now with the advantage, a length over Lake Hills Mimi. Spicy Mohawk racing in third. Carol's Pocket now sent on her way, as well as Lake Hills Mimi from the pocket. A lot of action up top early on. Lake Hills Mimi now clears the lead, but here comes Carol's Pocket. Morgan now sends her after the lead. Race by the quarter, Lake Hills Mimi. By that station, 29.1 now Carol's Pocket. Quickly up to challenge. And the favorite, Carol's Pocket, she's working her way to the top. She'll have command of the pace as they race by the stands for the first time. Off the turn, Carol's Pocket, your new leader. A tight length. Morgan now settles her in on the lead. Lake Hills Mimi will gladly take the trip in behind second. Spicy Mohawk facing the breeze third. To the inside of her, Quaker Shaker will save ground. On the outside, it's on the go. On the hop will follow on the go, and Nero's Affair is pushed back to last. 58-4 for the half. Carroll's Pocket cutting it out. Leads by 2, Lake Hills Mimi. Right there in second, Spicy Mohawk, inching her way forward. Quaker Shaker pinned in along the inside, on the outside, on the go, on the hop, right in behind her. Nero's Affair. Field is bunching up as they race for the final quarter. 6 lengths from top to bottom, and it's Carroll's Pocket the favorite. On top, 3 parts of a length. 3/4, 129-3. Carroll's Pocket. On the outside, Spicy Mohawk trying to overcome a very difficult trip. Now tipping off Perfect Cover is on the go. On the hop is right in behind her as she set to rally from 6th. And on the inside, Lake Hills Mimi enjoying a perfect trip. They turn for home. Carroll's Pocket under urging. Spicy Mohawk won't go away. On the outside, it's on the go. On the inside, Lake Hills Mimi. Carroll's Pocket has it measured for Morgan as he knocks down another close for second, 159-2. Top of the stretch, field of 6 lining up. Here they come. They're off with Tough Tank. Firing out for the lead along with Get About. On the far outside, it's Only Paper. Looks for early position. Get About on the inside. Tough Tank on the outside. Strides apart and now Get About. Wins the early battle for the lead. A Tough Tank up on the rim. Light Switch. Closing the gap along the rail. A length and a half back to It's Only Paper. Another length back to Tommy Fra. And Laker Magic is at the end. It's a battle up top. Get About has the rail. Off that quarter, a quick 27-2. Get About has turned back the early challenge by Tough Tank. Sitting in the pocket on the inside, Light Switch and Ken Holiday follow closely by It's Only Paper. A length and a half back to Tommy Fra. Now Tommy Fra angles off the cone. He's on the move. Laker Magic still trails. They race for the half. No change up top. Get About. Looking for a breather. A tight hold to Henninger, half-timed in 57 seconds. Tough Tank going a tough trip. On the inside, racing along the inside third is Light Switch. Tommy Fra following up perfect second over cover. It's Only Paper is pinned in along the inside. Laker Magic only about 4 off the top with 3/8 to go. Get About your leader, Tommy Fra, now surging up 3 wide. Followed up closely by Laker Magic. Tough Tank is dropping back after a tough trip. It's Only Paper, still pinned in, still has about 4 to make up with a quarter of a mile to go, 3/4, 127, a 30-second third quarter for the leader, Get About. Get About with 3/16 to go, still leads the way. Tommy Fra right alongside in second on the inside, Light Switch racing in third. It's Only Paper now launching his rally. They're in the stretch. Tommy Fra now wearing down Get About on the inside. Here comes Light Switch. Tommy Fra and Light Switch. Light Switch coming on for Holiday to get it. In the final strides, 155-4. Tommy Fra close for third. Lining up, here they come. They're off and pacing in the middle of the track. Sulin Jude left well for Morgan. On the inside, it's Safari Joe. Safari Joe on a short lead. Sulin Jude now wheels up right alongside. These two going at it early. Right off that pair, Subtraction sits third for Miller. Then a length back to Pacing Machine and Holiday. We have a break of 5 to Park Lane Express. Another gap of 3.5 to the Felcher. Logs Eagle trying to keep pace. And your trailer is Stan the Man Musial. They're strung out off the quarter, a quick one, 28-1. Off stride on the outside of horses is Sulin Jude. Safari Joe now by himself, a tight length. Subtraction right on his back. A length back to Pacing Machine and Ken Holiday. Another length back to Park Lane Express. A length and a half back to Jim Curran and the Felcher. Then comes Logs Eagle. And Stan the Man Musial far back after that miscue. Sulin Jude, no change up top. Safari Joe has had the best of this. Takes them by the half in 58 seconds. It's Safari Joe. Your leader, a tight length subtraction. Lurking in the pocket, getting the perfect trip. Pacing Machine, 3 lengths off the top in third. Park Lane Express racing in fourth, the Felcher in fifth. On the outside, dropping back a bit is Logs Eagle. Stan the Man Musial trails the field. A little more than a quarter of a mile to go. Safari Joe still leads the way. Subtraction the main threat. Here comes Pacing Machine. Holiday bids for his fifth on the card. 3/4, 127-1. Safari Joe, your leader midway around the turn. Here comes Pacing Machine. Subtraction is right there and eager in the pocket. They turn for home. Safari Joe digs down. Here comes Ken Holiday and Pacing Machine. Pacing Machine in deep stretch. A late rally on the outside by Park Lane Express. Pacing Machine, Holiday's fifth winner on the night at 156-4.
Chance here, just he was a little short last week, and I'd like to take a chance to beat him here as the favorite. So I'll go with 3 horses here. 1, Wolf's Echo, a horse that I think his late closing style is suited to the mile track. 5, Holly Hill Trust comes off a big first over victory in 56.